Today we are going to be drawing and painting people. I'm going to show you a simple way using a paintbrush and some paint to create fun characters and little scenes like this. We did some drawings last week, earlier this week actually, with how to draw dogs, and now I'm going to take it to the next level and we're going to draw people. We're actually going to paint them using a paintbrush and some paint. It can be water paint, it can be acrylic paint, it can be whatever kind of paint you want. And we are going to get started. I am going to turn the page. I'm using basic paper. I'm not using anything fancy because when I'm painting and practicing, I just like to use regular paper to practice my drawings, especially if I'm doing something, new or random. So I have a Sharpie marker and I have a simple paintbrush. I like this kind of paintbrush to draw the figures, and then I'm using gouache paint. I'm on a gouache kick right now. I will do a little video on that later on gouache, but you can use watercolor or acrylics or whatever paint you have. You can even use just like Toll paint or anything really. I'm going to grab some black. So I created these two folks with just some black paint. So I'm going to grab the black. You can grab whatever color you want. I'm probably going to mix a little black and blue together. And I am just going to do a general shape. Okay, just like a general shape, like a triangle. All right, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a triangle. And then I'm going to draw a line coming down. Okay, that's her arm. And we're going to leave it like that right now because now we're going to move on to this guy. And he's going to be more of a U shape. Okay, and maybe grab a little more paint if you need to grab more paint. But his legs are going to be there too, so I'm just going to do this U shape. And his arm is down. I'll just keep it straight for now. And then he's walking, but maybe we'll have him with his leg out. We'll see what this looks like. But again, this is just a practice, so you don't have to, there we go. There we go. And now we're going to draw the fancy lady with her red jacket on and cream colored pants. And again, I'm just grabbing some red paint. Grab whatever you have. And for her, it's again, just like a U shape. She's got like a little thing on there. And then I've got her arm like this. Interesting. I wonder if we should have her, kind of wondering if maybe these people should be walking that way instead of this way, but we'll do this way. Okay. She's going to have like a fancy jacket on with fancy sleeves. You kind of just have to go with whatever, and then her arm will be back. You kind of just have to go with whatever shapes you're making here because you can't control it when you're holding your paintbrush really loose, but that's the fun of it. And now I'm grabbing just sort of a creamy color for this woman's pants. Just grab whatever color you can. This is again just for fun. So she's kind of walking. There we go. She looks like she's walking in the other direction, but we are going to make this work. We're going to make this work. She's got her wide leg pants on. And now this lady needs her pants on, and she had red pants. I kind of like to bring in the colors so that it matches. We're going to get this leg right. And again, this is just for beginners, okay? If you are not a beginner, then this is probably not for you, but this is so much fun. Okay, so I'm going to bring this in a bit. There we go. Now, the next phase, I've got to rinse out my water. It's handy to have paper towel if you need it as well. So now I want to get the faces put in. So I'm just trying to get like a peachy tone, and I'm going to draw a general oval for the head, and then I'm just trying to draw something for the hand. I tend to draw my heads a little too big. I think she's going in the opposite direction of her friends. She's got some boots on. So I'm just trying to put her boots in there. And the interesting thing about watercolor or gouache, if you're using a lot of water, it's very hard to control, and that's part of the letting go process. And you just kind of have to let go. And honestly, this is supposed to be fun anyway. This is like almost folk arty. It's not supposed to be realistic in any way. This guy's gonna have, maybe his shoe will be going up like he's walking. Okay, we'll fix that. That's part of the process too. Now these ones I had on a sidewalk. That's where you see the gray. So I'm going to mix a little black and white together. And I was just kind of putting a sidewalk in there because maybe they're on a path walking their dogs. All right, now the next part is kind of the challenge because you're drawing in the faces, but first we'll put in the hair. I have a reddish brown hair for one lady. And that's this one. And I'm trying to kind of get her bangs in a little bit. And again, you're letting go of control. And I'm trying to be very loose with this. There we go. We've got his hair in. And then the other lady has this blonde hair. She's fancy. It's blonde and it's in like a bun at the top of her head. So let's see if we could do that. I'm just imagining where that, like if this is the side of her head, how it might look. So she has fancy big hair and walking her dog. Okay, so we have the people mapped in, and now we have to map in the dogs. I'm going to do the beigey sort of poodle, right, for this guy. We're going to get that poodle in there somewhere. He's just going to be sitting there. He's not really walking. And so I'm just doing like, trying to give the illusion of a dog. And he's not really moving right now. He's taking a little break. Okay, so we've got the dog mapped in. And then we're going to do the other lady's dog. He's got long ears there. And I'm just trying to map in his face. And he's kind of sitting there too. We'll just give him a tail, I don't know. This dog is just kind of walking. Or maybe it's sitting. I don't know what's going on with that dog, but there he is. Maybe we'll make his head a bit bigger. Uh-oh. Maybe it's a schnauzer now. Okay, well, we'll leave him. He looks all right, not too bad. And then she'll have another dog. Okay, maybe the next dog I'm going to draw will be that one. If you like this, I have a video on how I did these as well. Okay, so we're going to get that little dog drawn in. So he's going to be looking like this. He's a big dog, I guess. We're going to get him drawn in. Okay. Okay, so we've got their leashes in. They're doing a little walk. And maybe we'll add a little greenery. And remember, the painting always comes together when you add color. And this is just a folk arty type picture. It's not meant to be perfect. It's not meant to be anything other than what it is, which is just a fun drawing to do. That's it. So this is just time, take time out of your day to paint something and not get stressed out about it. Okay, let's see if I could add a little darker color in there for just a little bit of depth. So I'm just adding, this is not a Christmas scene, but they're doing a little walk. Okay, we'll add a different tree here. So they're in a park or something, but that looks kind of cool. Sometimes I just like to put paint on paper. Okay. And the other one, I think I drew a little bit of grass on it. So we'll put a little bit of grass in there. And I like to mix sometimes a little green and yellow to create sort of a darker, a muddy green for the grass. And that's what I've done there. So there's like a sidewalk and then there's some grass. So I like the way that looks so far. I am going to let this dry, and then we are going to add in the details of the face. Okay, so now that it's dried, it's funny because normally when you watch my art and my videos, I do the drawing first and then paint. But today we did the opposite because I don't know, I just felt like doing something different. But I thought this would be fun. And now I've got my Sharpie marker. You can use a pen or whatever it is you have. And we're just going to loosely map in their faces. But I don't want to give too much detail because then that's when you start making mistakes. So I'm just kind of randomly just drawing in lines where I think you might see her face. And I don't want to do too much. I'll add in her hair. And then you want to decide, okay, what do you want? How can you adjust this figure to make it look a little bit better? And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just putting a fancy collar on her. I'm bringing this down. She's got like a fancy coat on. I'm trying to make the sleeves a little bit frilly to just bring it together. And again, she's got like some wide leg pants on, which I don't mind. I'm gonna add a little color to her cheek. And then the guy is a little bit harder. I'm trying to draw some like bushy eyebrows on him and just an eye. And I think I just draw like a little nose, a little line for the lips, and then maybe his ear there. But I actually leave the guy pretty basic because if you get into the details, that's where you can really kind of make it a mess. He's got like a poofy, one of those poofy jackets on. Okay, and he's just got regular pants on. So we're just gonna leave him for now. But we've got his face mapped in. And this lady had glasses on. So all I did for her was draw like a circle with my pen and then almost like a curvy line, so where other glasses would peek out. Did I draw her nose? I kind of did draw her nose. And then there we go. And you're just going with the flow for this. Her hair, her ear would be there. Now she's got like a scarf on. That's the other thing with this woman. She's got like a fancy scarf on, so we'll get that in. And I'm drawing something there for her jacket. And the line down her pants. All right, so we've got our people, and now you can include as much detail as you want, but I find because these are almost folk art type figures, the less detail, the better. So it just gives like that illusion of people walking their dogs. And now I'm going to add the faces to the dogs. And I'm simply going to draw a circle. Again, we're keeping it as simple as we can. I don't know if I want to draw the whole thing on this guy. I think he looks pretty good the way he is. And then this one, I'm going to draw little eyes, little circle eyes, and then there we go, little nose, and then maybe just the illusion of curls, so we know that that's a poodle. Okay, we've got that dog mapped in, and then this one has the big circle eyes and the nose, and I'm going to have to adjust this one with the gel pen to get more of the details in, but we'll just draw his little legs there. It's kind of hard when I'm reaching over. And this one I will adjust with a white gel pen so that we can see the face. I'm going to do that, and then we're going to add a few more details to these people. When it comes to adding details to these folks, what you can do is all I'm going to do is add a little pink paint to the cheeks of the women, and then I'm going to get some colored pencils and go in with the colored pencil to add a little more color to the to their clothes. This is the final drawing, the folk art people and dogs, and then I have the original one that I did that I'm going to include like the video of me painting and drawing this one as well. But I would say these are folk arty type drawings that you can easily create and have fun with. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'd love to hear if you're going to try it. Please leave a comment below on what you'd like to learn to draw next. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day and happy sketching.